You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Opening up the truth pipeline for these bitches.
Truth on Tap. Truth.
My right to say how I say it's mine to give my mind, my heart. It's mine to share my sons, my heart.
Truth on Tap.
Invite to use just the mission to use and chop it up and recombine. Chop it up and recombine.
Truth on Tap is now flowing from iHeartRadio. Get your Kierstead fix by Googling Truth on Tap with Kevin A. Kierstead. All the truth you can handle running hot on iHeart, Facebook, Spreaker, and more. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth on Tap.
Generic Hip Hop Session 1 just scared the piss out of my cat. Yeah, she's not used to seeing me talk to myself out here in the studio. It is 1:30 Alpha Mama on a 9/11/2014, 9/11. No small date now in American history, but this is not my 9/11 show. Don't know if I'm going to do a 9/11 show. We'll talk a little about it. Not going to be taking phone calls probably this show at all. Yeah, because I don't feel like talking to you motherfuckers. You know, honesty can sound a bit pointed, and yet it's still a thing of beauty. Much like a tornado or a tidal wave. You can't, if I know I'm about to get gobbled up by an act of nature, if I see the lava flow coming, I will take a few seconds to admire that beauty before it consumes me. And I intend to consume you tonight. Sure, why not? You put yourself out there, you're listening to my show, I'm coming after you. I'm like Pac-Man up in this bitch. I got, my jawbones can dislocate so that I can fit something larger than my head into my mouth. Yeah, I'm gonna gobble you up. Come on, Eno, give me that shot I need. I might have to play this one again. I was talking, I need to feel it. Yeah, I'm starting it over. Yeah, there we go. God, I love this fucking program. Radio Boss. Radio Boss is the software to get for you radio hosts out there. Yeah, get it, bitches. Yeah, I just need to feel this, so you're just going to have to deal with me for a second. Hold on. Oh, God, I love seeing that bounce up and down. Green, yellow, orange, red. Bitches. Beautiful, beautiful. You put horns and scratching together, I'm up in there. This should have been invented 1,000 years ago. Yeah, random white dudes talking, I don't know. I don't need that, but it's there. I gotta tweak my voice real quick, let me see. Input, mic, DSP, out, equalizer. Let's drop that down, get rid of a little hiss. Just a tad there. Bump up the bass. Bump up the bass. There we go. Now I'm feeling more like me and not someone else. Oh, sorry, my mic turned off. That was freakish. Let me turn the music up. That's alright, I got Genghis coming up. Yeah, I'm sorry, I talked over you again, with the generic hip-hop. Didn't really get to feel my buzz there, but yeah, what a buzzkill. But Genghis will pick up where you left off. Let's get it. Tell him, Wes Johnson. Let's get this shit going.
Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Andrew. Andrew's in the chat room, y'all. Black Star. Yeah, I'm coming to consume you. It's freestyle. I feel no pressure when I'm doing a freestyle show. I forgot to do my vocal exercises, so This is my warm-up, so you're getting to witness my warm-up here. Let me do my little vocal exercises. Okay, it's Bing bong, King Kong, ding dong, gong gong gong. The human flame had trouble securing a bank loan. Unique New York. Unique New York. The ass-tard fell off the ass wagon. Yeah, I think I'm ready now. I think I got it. OC Rage. Let's talk about Australia, Andrew. I want to know, man, what's going on in your country? If, you know, here we are. We're dropping bombs now. We've decided to go ahead and start bombing in Syria. You know, I could talk about that, but I want to know about Australia. I want to know about you. I want to know what you would do, Andrew, if you could change any one thing today about Australia and the way that it's run politically. You know, because we see Australia over here as a magical place, as a place where if we can gather up enough money, we want to go visit. And it's flawless. I don't know one person in America that I'm sitting there talking to and he goes, hear about that shit that happened in Australia? Not a one time. It's always, God, I'd love to go to Sydney. Fucking Finding Nemo. Crocodile Hunter. That's not a knife. This is a knife. That's all I hear. I did not see Obama's speech yet on this decision to drop the bombs. I'm going to have to view that. I've been reading all the other print news, so I've missed it. Black Star. Genghis featuring Stereo Black Star Super Negro, just like it sounds. Yep. Oh, I'm just getting fired up. I don't even know if that was the right song to fire me up. Maybe I'm, you know what I think I need if I got time. I got 29 seconds to find a song. There it is, I already found it. Kev's eyes were quick tonight. After this, we're going to play Georgia Linus's DJ Arcot. I'm not ready to just talk yet. I need music, more music. This is what's great about freestyle, no commitment. I promise you guys nothing that makes sense. And, you know, we're going to talk about that a little bit too. Sure thing. We are.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
George Linus DJ Archive Paul's George Linus remix. Get ready. It feels a little techie. Yeah, I'm feeling a little techie right now. Feels very gay and white in the non-sexual sense. Very, you know, I can picture like a 60-year-old dude that has gone on a new diet and is exercising, and he's feeling pretty good about himself, and now he wants to feel cool. He's going to listen to this song. That's going to make him feel 21, and the 21-year-old is going, dude, for Christ's sake, don't do that. I know young people. I remember what it's like when someone that's older comes around trying to act young. It's very uncomfortable. It's like they're encroaching on your territory and they're delusional. And I know how that feels. It's an awkward feeling. I won't do that to you. I just listen to what feels good to me, you know. Seriously, I'm just about dead. My default setting is 0 pulse. So I gotta get something like this to get me fired up a little. Or I got nothing for you. Why do a fucking radio show? Why would I do a radio show if I'm going to be the most boring thing you've heard all day? I can't do that to you. And we're going to talk about that too. Why do a radio show? And there are questions inside of that, such as, why don't you stop doing your radio show? I've got answers for you. Sure do. Yep. The question is, do I have something to offer people? You know, I know the question in the back of your mind anytime you tune into a radio show, and it's this: who the fuck are you? I know humans up and down, the bad, the good, the indifferent. I know all of that. I'm a psych guy. I've studied the human brain for 20 years in its depths. And the answer to that when you say, who the fuck are you, is what do I have to offer? I've got truth. And the truth is not typically biased. When it is, when I bring out biased truth, I will identify it as biased truth. So you don't have to think on this show when you listen. The fuck is he trying to blow smoke about my ass about now? I'm not. I'm just bringing you fucking facts and real shit you can use, not shit you're hearing on every other show. You're getting something new, you're getting something fresh, you're getting critical thinking at all times. And you may get a little bit of comedy. Because in the 69, my Humpty Nose will tickle your rear. Yeah. Oh. Why do a show? Why should I do a show, Andrew? You listen, man. A dingo took my baby. I love Australians. I swear to God, I love you guys. And if I move somewhere, it's either going to be Australia or England. Yep. Alright, I think I've had enough music. I don't know about you guys, and we'll play more later, but I've had enough for now. Thank you, Wes Johnson. Wes Johnson, you know, you guys hear me say it all the time. The man is a fucking genius. And what he does with his voice over the airwaves, and not even the airwaves, just put him in front of a... Hell, you don't even need that. I mean, I've seen him on video, doing interviews and stuff. Just being in his presence, he'll drop the bombs on you with his voice. And he's got acting skills. He's loaded with personality. You know people when you first meet them if they're loaded with personality. There's no mistake in it. You can see it in their face before they even speak. You can sense it. There's something in the air. These are things that we as humans have capabilities to detect, and we need to trust our gut instincts on them. Because 9 out of 10 people that walk up to a Wes Johnson that don't know him, and you stop them and say, what do you think about this guy? They're going to say, he's somebody. I don't know who he is, but he's somebody. I can just tell he's not an average guy. And he's got that kind of charisma. It just reaches out and bitch smacks you. Sometimes it stings a little. But let me tell you something. You guys that aren't hockey fans or anything, do me a favor and tune into a home game, just one, for 5 minutes is all I'm asking. A home game for the Washington Capitals this year. And listen to the PA announcer in the background. You'll hear Craig Laughlin and Joe Beninati in the background talking, or maybe some of the NBC douchebags. But you're going to hear a dude yelling in the background over the PA system after a score or to announce something. Oh, you just can't help but catch on fire right along with them. You know, how do you deliver that energy with your voice? I'd love to learn it. It is a skill that cannot come naturally. And he must have honed that craft over a great many years. But he's not that old, so I don't want to put it like that. You know what I'm saying? That's going to offend him. Truth Porn Militia's in the house. If you don't like people to think for themselves, then there's a problem. That's right. I love people to think for themselves. Please do. I want people to think too hard about what I'm lying about. Because too many show hosts, especially the big name. Now you got to copy of Glenn Beck. But when you're listening for a show, isn't your truth radar blipping off the fucking screen? Because you know you're gonna load shit at some point. It is, keep in mind, first of all, that these guys got big because they're controversial. I'm not so controversial. I'm not gonna get big. I've accepted that. If I wanted to go that route, I'm creative enough to come up with some serious friggin' controversy, stir up all kinds of shit, talk about murder and babies and how the Third Reich was the way to go, and I could get it all stirred up and all these listeners and start selling ads. I won't. Hi, baby, come here. Yeah, this is my parrot, Princess. You can see her in my picture on the Facebook page. Hi, honey. You want to say something to him? Did you get mad because I said kill babies? Well, what are you mad about then? What are you mad about? Okay. She's... Alright, well... Okay. Apparently she wants to say something to all the cats in his house. Go ahead, tell him. Tell him. Oh, now you're just going to get all shy and shit. You don't make a very good co-host, Princess. I love you, though. Sorry, that was my cat, who imposes herself upon me at will. I have 4 cats, but she's the one that's in my face all the time. Critical thinking, we're going to talk a little bit about that this show. I want you guys to always be aware that there are resources out there for you to hone your skills. They're not hard. This stuff is not hard. You can learn it in little bite-sized chunks. It's easy, but it's so important. And I at the same time, some people are trying to sell critical thinking now. I need to warn you, don't go that route. It's free. It's free on very reputable sites. You don't need to go to sites like, let's see, criticalthinkeracademy.com. All right, they'll have a couple free videos to try to hook you, and they're going to try to draw you in. You don't need that. You don't need that. Criticalthinking.org, commonsensemedia.org, St. Petersburg College has a great one about critical thinking. You've got some really good resources out there. My favorite, of course, is criticalthinking.org. And I was reading a little bit about what they're telling people on how to begin, because I wanted to be reminded of what it's like when you haven't really studied critical thinking. Remember, you've probably heard 5% of everything you'd ever learn in critical thinking already, but these people have put it together as the actual focus of the program. And believe it or not, you will probably, if you start learning to think critically, your beliefs may begin to shift and change. And if you're not comfortable with that, you're not going to receive critical thinking very well. I'm going to read you a couple of things here in a minute off of this site, and they're basically introducing themselves to the new critical thinker. And one of the paragraphs is titled, Why Critical Thinking? And below it they have the problem. It's just one paragraph, a definition, and the result. And it's very simplified, very condensed. And if anybody can argue with this, I want to hear your argument, because I don't think you can. So I'm going to read you that in a minute. They also go into a more in-depth definition of critical thinking. Now, critical thinking has been around for several hundred years in its purest form. And it was even called that several hundred years ago. But it never really was a discipline. It should have been required at the introduction to high school, I think. I mean, when I went into college, it was required. It was Philosophy 101, critical thinking. That was the definition of the fucking course. Although they did get into some of the philosophers, they had to. They focused on critical thinking, building up your logic skills, building up your reason skills. And when you do that, what you're doing is, most importantly, you're learning how to dip the shit out of the information that you would like to take in every day before you put it into your head. I mean, who wants to clean shit out of their head? I don't. So I want to take it in clean. And that's one thing critical thinking will let you do. And I hope that visual sticks with you, because that's really what it is. You know, you're dipping a good type of food from the stream, and there are turds floating in it. And I'm going to teach you how to avoid the turds entirely instead of having to clean them out later. Ridiculous. You don't want to do that. Obama orders U.S. airstrikes in Syria against Islamic State. I want to hear what you guys think about that in the chat room. I want to hear what you think about Obama in the chat room. And as I look, I'm going back now because I don't like to not be attentive to my people in chat. Andrew says they don't teach thinking in school much anymore. More just learn this. I kind of agree. What do you think about that, Truth Poor Militia, if you're in there? And this is a Pumpkin Face, I believe, who runs this. I'm pretty sure. Interesting show, by the way. I listened to your show once or twice, and I was very interested in it. I will go ahead and share the link to your show right now on my Facebook page, which I do with anybody that bothers by the chat room. 51,000 plays. Go, Truth Porn Militia. Wow. Okay, that's cool. So I'm sharing that now on the Facebook page. The Facebook page, for those of you that don't know, is facebook.com/TruthOnTapShow. Don't forget the show. TOTS is an easy way to remember it. Facebook.com/TruthOnTapShow. On that show is the notification, which Spreaker automatically puts up for me, for the episode you're listening to right now, called Freestyle Plus New Definitions of Old Words. In the comments to that, you will find the links to the applicable things we talk about tonight, which now will also include a link to Pumpkin Face's very own Truth Porn Militia, which is now up. Thinking as an art, thinking as a science, thinking as... The question is this. See, I know where my love for truth came from. Pumpkin Face says, let me just say I don't much favor what's happening in our country today. Okay, that's cool. Tell me more if you've got it, if you feel like it. If not, we'll keep going. Andrew says, what I would fix down here, less sports, more rights type people needed. Rights type. I don't know what you mean by that, Andrew. I'm having trouble decoding it. Less sports, more rights type people needed. I think you mean people that would fight for individual rights. At least that's what I'm drawing from it. And I know Australia has a problem. You can't have a handgun to protect yourself and your family in Australia, but the criminals can break in and murder your family with one. And what's the last thing you're going to think as they're shooting you after they've shot your family? At least I abided by the law. You know what I say about that, Andrew? Fuck the law. I'm telling you to break the law, and you can tell the Australian authorities I said so. Protect your family and your home any way you have to, with the most devastating force possible. Every human should have that right. Well, maybe not all. I mean, felons and stuff. I agree with most of the laws as they are today that limits, because if you get somebody saying, well, I want to protect my family and my home, so I'm going to go kill the closest 6 neighbors because they're a threat to me. You see what I'm saying? So you can't just do it like that. I'm just saying, anybody breaks into your shit, shoot them in the fucking face. Yeah, you can tell them Kevin told you to. Blame me. I don't mind that at all. I mean, what's the solution if you don't do that, folks? What is it, a taser? Have you ever tried to aim a taser when you're shaking? You're going to be shaking, okay? You might not be scared. I'm not saying you'll be scared. I'm saying the adrenaline will be flowing. When the adrenaline's flowing, you've got a lot of excess energy. And if you're not channeling it into something or controlling it, you're going to be shaking. You mess with the fucking taser, you hit the fucking cat, okay? So now your cat's being electrocuted while the burglar is continuing to make his move on you with the ice pick. That does not work for me. Pumpkin Face does a whole Saturday show on the Second Amendment. Okay. Andrew's ex-Army kept my weapons, but I never said that. Okay, I hear you, buddy. I didn't realize you were ex-Army, Andrew. Go, bro. Tell me more. Let me ask you a little bit. Did you happen to serve in the Middle Eastern theater at all in support of the anti-terrorist, campaigns we've been leading by any chance? And thank you for your service. And I say that to my Australian brother, because it takes a special kind of person to walk up to the leaders of his country and say, use me as you need to. I'm signing my name over to you for a fixed period of time. I have respect for all my military brothers around the world. Everybody wants to protect their country. Everybody wants to protect their homeland. There's nothing wrong with that. I can understand how people in the Middle East get pissed off when a foreign country shows up. I can understand that. What I can't understand is why you would get so pissed off that the infidels were on your land that you would organize a series of 4 aircraft and 19 hijackers to use those aircraft as missiles, killing everybody on board and everybody else you could get on the ground till you hit Flight 93. Yeah, because my man Todd Beamer wasn't playing that game. He was whooping ass in midair. You think that you're justified in that? Because what? A couple of our bombs weren't smart enough and had some collateral damage during other campaigns? Because we didn't stay over there with the Mujahideen long enough when the Soviets invaded Afghanistan? What's our crime? To where we deserve to lose large amounts of innocent civilians all in one fell swoop. I think what 9/11 was the extension of the minds of very small men who knew they were losing their grip. And they were losing their grip on imposing their will. Because in a free society, no one can impose their will forcefully. It has to be accepted. Guys that like control don't like that. They don't like their women unless they're in burqas. They don't like their women able to vote and being able to work and being independent in their thought and not having to be quiet in the church and being able to go out and drive when they want to and being able to go out to dance clubs and being able to join the military and fire a fucking gun. They can't handle it because their male ego, the one that the religious doctrine they hide behind gave them the right to impose as a law, is challenged. So they had to try to beat us. And they did it the only way they could. They didn't have a chance against our military. They were losing as they tried to make political points with Americans. So they did it the only way they could, and that's to kill innocents. Al-Qaeda, ISIS, you are small men with small minds, and I'm betting that's not all that you have that's small. Need to get over yourselves, get in with the free world. And the money to Israel is part of it, I'm sure. Yeah, definitely. Well, and you know something? I don't know about you guys, but I think we need to question our as to this point, unquestioned support toward Israel. Israel's not perfect in all of this. They've made their mistakes. You know, the United States has a very close relationship with Israel. It's actually gotten a little cooler since Obama took office. One of the few relationships internationally where we've lost some love. And I think it's because he asked the question, the same one I'm asking, why are we so close to them? Why wouldn't we be just as close to Israel as we are to our brothers in the UK? But it's almost like this, Israel can do no wrong. Is it a World War II guilt thing over the Holocaust? What is it? You know? And God knows I feel the sympathy for what they went through. But that doesn't mean that they can go and fucking bomb Palestinians anytime they want to. Now, Palestinians, if they want to launch rockets into the middle of Israel, you're going to turn into tomato sauce. And you deserve it. That's not how you do it. Attacking innocents is retarded. You're going to lose that battle. You're going to lose that battle militarily, and you're going to lose it politically. See, the way you win any battle in this world is you win the support of masses of people. Masses of people. And you're not going to do that killing innocents. So yeah, we support Israel. I understand that the terrorist groups are upset about that. But think about why they're upset too. You put two groups together, as I've said before, and I'm not going to spend much time on this. You got Israel there, and then you got Palestine, you got the West Bank, you got the innocents sitting there like Jordan going, good God, I hope we don't get involved in this shit. Syria, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan's there, Saudi Arabia's there, Egypt's over there, rubbing their hands together. They're a little nervous. And all of this is going on, and the whole huge problem right there around Israel is the Holy Land, which is not just holy for Israelis, by the way. And the difference between the two religions is extreme. It's extreme. It'd be different if they were similar, but it's extreme. And because it's extreme, the unspoken words are this: you follow the wrong invisible dude. Our invisible dude is right. Your invisible dude is wrong. You don't want to believe that? We're going to have to blow up some hotels to show you. What a fucking joke. You know, humans are a fucking joke across the globe anyway, but they are the punchline. I mean, let's go blow some shit up because that'll promote our cause. Yeah. Are you guys afraid of terrorist organizations? Do you guys, let me ask you guys this. Pumpkin Face is brave. Would you go on your radio show and say anything negative about the Prophet Muhammad? Let me ask you that. This is a ball check here. Because you know what happens when you do that. As soon as a few Muslims find out about it, say something about the Prophet Muhammad. There's only one reason that I don't say anything derogatory about the Prophet Muhammad. And it has nothing to do with me being scared of fucking Muslims or Christians or any other group. It's because I don't know anything bad about them. I've heard some things. I have not studied that religion very deeply. There are people that report that there was, maybe you guys can tell me, but Pumpkin Face thinks Jesus is fake too. I think it's possible. I sure do. I need to see proof for anything, folks. And if that sends me to hell, well, sign me up. Go ahead and reserve me a room now. I'm not buying into your myth until you come forth with proof. And while the case that has been made for the existence of Jesus is a pretty convincing one, anecdotally, I still haven't seen the proof. And let's consider this. Have you seen Zeitgeist? The story of the virgin birth? I mean, this has gone on 25 times before, I think. 25 times before this myth of creation with the virgin birth has been told and followed. So, now one thing I will say is that for the most part, what Jesus stood for, if he existed, if not the fictional character that they created in the Bible, I think pretty good policy. I mean, the Old Testament was pretty harsh. But with a few exceptions, I think the character Jesus, or the real man Jesus, had a pretty good moral compass. You know, very passive, do the right thing at all times, help each other, love each other. Who could argue with that? That's good stuff. That's stuff that you can spread around the world through any culture and it'll work for them. You know, but my God, man, have you guys read the Quran? And if you have, I'm curious. I keep hearing this debate. Here's the problem. I have not read the whole Quran. I've read small excerpts from it. I have read the Bible cover to cover. And my thing about it is I keep hearing that in the Quran it says somewhere that if you cannot convert those you find in foreign cultures to the Muslim religion, if you cannot convert them, they must either leave the area or be killed. And I'm wondering if you guys know if that's true. Because if that's true and it says that literally, I'll have some things to say about that religion. Religious worship your dog for all I care, says Andrew. Good movie. What movie? I must have mentioned a movie. What movie did I mention? I don't remember. That's my memory for you. Oh, Zeitgeist. That's right. They had 2 more come out, I believe. I know, man, Zeitgeist is one of those documentaries, movies that I think should be required viewing. And you can argue it and you can debate it, but my God, it made a lot of sense to me. And I had my critical thinking antenna on, firmly in place. Critical thinking, this is something else I'm just going to talk a little bit more about. Let's talk about it for just a second, okay? When I talk about critical thinking, you might say, okay, Kevin, what are you trying to say? You're an expert at everything? That you know how to use the brain better than anybody else? Not at all. Not at all. This is stuff that I'm drawing from the best minds our history has had to offer according to our history. The name Socrates rises up above so many others. Plato, Aristotle, Pythagoras, right on down the line, because they did something special. And when they came forth with their claims, they were convincing. Some of them fell. They were big for 100 years. They were big for 250 years. Then they went into obscurity. Some did not. And those people that did not fall, you need to give them a really good look. What was so special about the way this person thought? I think that's the best we can do, folks. Take the people from our planet that have been the most special, as decided by the masses, including academics, who have said the smartest things, and model ourselves after them. What's wrong with that? You can look at the thinking that they did and you can find flaws, and that's part of the process. They'd be proud of you for that, the people I'm thinking of. Why critical thinking? Here's the problem. Everyone thinks it is our nature to do so, and I'm quoting, but much of our thinking left to itself is biased, distorted, partial, uninformed, or downright prejudiced. Yet the quality of our life and that of what we produce, make, or build depends precisely on the quality of our thought. Shoddy thinking is costly, both in money and in quality of life. Excellence in thought, however, must be systematically cultivated. I wholeheartedly promote this idea. If I can find a shirt that has criticalthinking.org on it, I'm getting it. It doesn't look like they sell merchandise. A definition: critical thinking is the art I wouldn't call it an art, but they're going to call it an art, and I'm not going to argue with them. Critical thinking is the art of analyzing and evaluating thinking with a view to improving it. It's that simple. The only thing I would add science to the art. It's not just an art. I would say critical thinking is the art and science of analyzing and evaluating thinking with a view to improving it, improving the thinking. So what I'm saying here is not having to do with your intelligence. It's how you use the engine that you intend to use to gain intelligence. The engine. We're not questioning the engine. We're shoving shit in, and then we're all spewing it back out, and it's coming out all different kind of ways, and we're getting into arguments and fight and wars, and we're not questioning the mechanism by which we're taking in and processing this information. The result, if you learn critical thinking, this is the result. A well-cultivated critical thinker raises vital questions and problems, formulating them clearly and precisely, gathers and assesses relevant information using abstract ideas to interpret it effectively, comes to well-reasoned conclusions and solutions, testing them against relevant criteria and standards, thinks open-mindedly. That's got to be one of the biggest ones, folks. Got to keep your mind open. Put a question mark beside everything in your brain right now, and you will make a quantum leap in your thinking. Thinks open-mindedly with alternative systems of thought, recognizing and assessing as need be their assumptions, implications, and practical consequences. And finally, communicates effectively with others in figuring out solutions to complex problems. And last but not least, this is the summary. Critical thinking is, in short, self-directed, self-disciplined, self-monitored, and self-corrective thinking. It requires rigorous standards of excellence and mindful command of their use. It entails effective communication and problem-solving abilities and a commitment to overcoming our native egocentrism and sociocentrism. Now, you may disagree about that definition of critical thinking, as well as their own opinions about what good critical thinking will lead to, but chances are you're going to find it close to the way you imagined it. And there are a couple of charts and flow charts and graphics on this page that are very simple and easy to understand. So I'm going to share the page on the Facebook announcement. And for those of you that want to know right now, it's just go to criticalthinking.org, where to begin. That's where you want to go. If you've never gotten into critical thinking, this is going to be one of the best moves you can make in your life, because how you take in all the information from this day forward, as long as you live, is going to be changed when you learn how to think well. There we go. Now that is shared, I'm going to stop by the chat room. Great speaker too, Peter Joseph, I think is his name. Critical thinking is almost as important as the normalcy bias. Well, the normalcy bias is included in critical thinking. In fact, all of the typical logical fallacies, which are, I'd say, I don't know, I'm not going to put a value on it, but let's just say 30% of the entire mechanism of critical thinking you need to know is logical fallacies, the mistakes people make. And you see it all the time. We see it so much in the news media, and people just let it go. Just let it go. Once you learn critical thinking, you learn logical fallacies and these, inherent reason inconsistencies. You're going to be able to pick that stuff apart like it's nothing. Easy stuff. Who's Peter Joseph? Is he the was he one of the ones in the movie Zeitgeist? I'm gonna have to watch that again. It's been a couple years. I saw it when it first came out, I think. NFL opens independent Rice inquiry. Do you think that would have happened if the pressure didn't mount? It's amazing what happens when the public is outraged. God, I swear, it just bugs me. Because that should happen with no public outrage. The right thing should happen anyway. All of a sudden you get this pressure. Ferguson would have never been talked about, but once the public pressure shows up, you got Eric Holder heading on out to Missouri, and it bothers me. Ferguson shooting protesters attempt to shut down highway. UN scientific panel says ozone levels increasing. What do you know? John Kerry says world cannot watch IS evil spread. Yeah, well, thank you, Captain Obvious. I mean, let's come up with something new here. So did anybody see this McCain and Carney CNN showdown? I think I've got to watch that. I'm definitely watching that later. I'm keeping this page up. California wildlife officials believe they've killed mountain lion that attacked six people, I guess. Excuse me. Australia jobs rise by most on record in huge surprise. Did you hear about that, Andrew? Australian employment surged by the most on record in August and far beyond the most optimistic forecast. On the face of it is a stunningly strong report that should calm recent concerns about the health of the economy. That's very good news. China's inflation cools to a 4-month low. That doesn't mean anything. It's still growing, just about exponentially. China's about to pass us. Russia's about to pass us. U.S. is about to take a hot seat in the third row, folks. So get ready. We're letting it happen. We're letting it happen. Mayweather versus Maidana. Who y'all got in Mayweather versus Maidana? I'm hoping Maidana, because I just can't stand Mayweather's attitude. Can't stand that attitude, man. Blood group linked to memory loss. I need to read that shit. The problem is I won't remember. Oh well. Let's get back to chat, see what's going on. If not, I might just go freestyle. Yeah, the creator, Kevin. Oh, okay. Peter Joseph created that movie? I didn't realize that. I'm not very good with remembering names. Let me pull up Zeitgeist. Shit, we're talking about it so much, I might as well put a link to it. Excellent movie. This is... I don't know if I've ever seen more intelligence condensed into an hour and a half or 2 hours since in my lifetime. It's just so informative, and and they did come out with more. So this 2007, man, I was thinking it was newer than that. You can see the whole thing right on YouTube. Apparently, I didn't realize they had it up there. So let me grab the link for you guys. See, I don't even make it Google. Man, I got everything clickable. So here we go with Zeitgeist. That's gonna be one of those long drawn out links. I'm gonna have to open it. There we go. Can you guys hear this? I don't think I have my video player set up to output to channel 2. Tell me if you can hear Zeitgeist playing. No seeing the 3-car company's camera out closing. Better check that one. Yeah, I don't think I have this set up to output to channel 2, so it's not going to work. Anyway, this is a 2-hour-long movie, documentary film, and yeah, this is going to this movie shakes up religion quite a bit, and you expect it to. Let's go ahead and share that on the Facebook page. That's the YouTube version. The 2007. They came out with a couple of others. They had Zeitgeist 2 Addendum. I've seen that one as well. I don't remember it that much though. Zeitgeist Moving Forward was another one. So I'm pretty sure that Zeitgeist Moving Forward and Zeitgeist Addendum were different, but Zeitgeist Moving Forward is almost 3 hours long. So you'll see all those extra movies after you. But watch this one first if you haven't seen these yet. And looking at the YouTube likes, apparently there were a pretty good percentage of people pissed off. I mean, you look at 5,674 likes on this video, 586 dislikes. So you got a 10% dislike rate on here, which that's about what I'd expect for this type of information. Okay, so they're calling that Zeitgeist 3 Moving Forward, full 2011. Peter Joseph talks the Zeitgeist movement with Joe Rogan. That's 2.5 hours. That's got to be good. I haven't seen that. Russell Brand on the Zeitgeist movement. Glenn Beck exposes the private Fed, gets fired by Fox. I hate it when they lie on YouTube, don't you? You go and you pull it up and it's nothing like what the description said. Pisses me off. What happened, Andrew, with the car companies? I'm not very familiar with the economy in Australia. When you're talking about major American corporations that were coming over there? Or already came over there and are shutting down. And while he's doing that, guys, it is 2:16. We've been on for almost an hour. I need to play a couple songs and take care of my personal business. What are we in the mood for? It's a little bit militant feeling tonight. We're talking about thinking. That makes me think we should do 2025 by Doka Shatiru. About the year 2025. Because ultimately, that's where we're going. And I'm also going to be playing a little commercial for you, both for myself and for Grandpa Al's show. If you have a show and you have a 30-second or less promotion, you can send it to me at whatsthedeal@yahoo.com. I'll try to get it in on the show. It is WUTZ, the deal, @yahoo.com. Send it to me. I'll try to get in on the show. And you guys are about to get a little break after I get it lined up just the way I want here. I think I'm going to play Angels and Dark Clouds again. That'll come after Doka Shatiru. And then if we have time, which I'll probably be back by then, we'll have Texas Radio Fish, Funk Change. I love that song. They get a little wacky with that song. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. All right, you are going to be going on a little break here. When we come back, I am going to open it up a little bit. I'm going to try to bump the energy up a little bit, and we're going to go totally freestyle. And we're going to talk about the new definition of words like author, friend, and host. Sound intriguing? I thought it might. That is that. And here it goes.
On Tap is now flowing from iHeartRadio. Get your Kierstead fix by Googling Truth on Tap with Kevin A. Kierstead. All the truth you can handle running hot on iHeart, Facebook, Spreaker, and more. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth on Tap.
Hey everyone, this is Grandpa Al Krushko from the Southern Cowboy Grandpa Al One Voice Network, inviting you to tune in for chat, rants, raves, and vents, along with thoughts and comments from special guests and some great music to help ease the pain until your next therapy session. That's 2 p.m. Central Time, Saturday rants, and Sunday brunch with Ed and Al, right here on Spreaker, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.com.
Markets are starting to question themselves, the bloggers exposing our blisters, just the everyday words of everyday people, shifting the tone of televised speeches. When we look beyond our next meal, our next post, the everyday choices of everyday people are facing the storms and curing diseases.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead. You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Changes come, and changes go. There's always change. Seasons change, the time change, people change.
In all directions at once. On the wrong side of the tracks, and I never look back. I love the monsters. chaos that's burning deep inside of me. I love all the bad.
Changes come, and changes go. And there's always change. Seasons change, the time change, people change. In your pocket there is change, and nothing stays the same. Time changes everything, and nothing stays the same to say. But here I am breathing, living my life the way I want to, and I have no one else to blame. Time changes. We change. Change to channel. Change the news. Change something. Or better yet, get the blues.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead. Truth on Tap is now flowing from iHeartRadio. Get your Kierstead fix by Googling Truth on Tap with Kevin A. Kierstead. All the truth you can handle running hot on iHeart, Facebook, Spreaker, and more. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth on Tap.
I'm gonna kick your ass. I won't kick your ass unless you decide you want to fuck with me. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. Yeah. I'm just running a quick check on the station and make sure that the audio is coming through. There it goes. Andrew just got off work. Can you tell me what you do for work, Andrew, if you don't mind sharing that? I'll be honest with you. Give me a chat room with 5 Americans and 5 Australians and 5 Europeans, and I'm probably going to ignore the Americans because I see you guys every day. These people that can give me the view that they have on culture, not only on their own culture, but for some reason America gets attention from a lot of other countries. Let me ask you something, average American. What do you know right now about Argentina? If you're drawing perfect blanks, that's because Argentina's not really making the news. America is always making news. And electricity industry, got it. That's good enough. That's good enough. I have 4 sisters, and one of them worked for the we call them the power company out here, and she was a meter reader. So she would, now it's all automated, but she would have to go around literally on foot and read all the meters. And she did that for probably 15 years. Hard-working folks over there. Those linemen, man, I don't think they ever sleep. Especially if there's a storm or a disaster of some kind. Let's talk a little bit about what I promised you. I do not like to lure people in with a topic or topics and then not deliver. That's not my style. Those of you that listen to me routinely know this already. So you knew that I was going to talk about new definitions of old words. Author. Let's start there. 20 years ago, if someone told you they were an author, you would have thought a couple of things. 1, I can go to the library and get one of their books, or 2, if they're not as well known, I can probably still order their book through some kind of catalog company, okay? Different definition today. I'm an author. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not supremely qualified to be an author. I am rather qualified. But I never signed with a major publishing house. In fact, I did have a literary agency accept my first novel, which has still to this day never been published because I'm in this mode of, I was young when I wrote it. It's got mistakes. I want to change things. But the Thornton Literary Agency thought it was good enough. They took me on and put me in a, it was all paid for by them. So they put me in this like writing group to where the published authors were working on me to get the manuscript ready because they didn't like certain parts of it. And then they ended up folding and going out of business. So that book never got published. But now, with Amazon and with the internet, anybody can publish. Anybody. And I could have gone the traditional route and went out and bought the 2014 Writer's Market, the big fat book with all the addresses that you need to submit your manuscripts, and you can't do simultaneous submissions with them. Let me tell you people something that don't write books. The way they expect you to do it is you write a manuscript, and then you're going to write a pitch, right? Because you want this house to take you, whether you're applying to an agent who will represent you to those houses or you're going directly to the publishing houses. And this pitch has to hook them. Then they'll ask you for a few chapters if they like the pitch, okay? This is a very slow process going through snail mail. And a lot of these publishing houses insist that you don't have simultaneous submissions out to more than one publishing house at a time. That means that this slow tag game of snail mail you get into, with most of them, you're only allowed to talk to one of them at a time. One at a time. And you wonder why a lot of authors today said, fuck that, I'm writing my shit in self-publishing? Of course. And frankly, even if a publishing house had went to pick up my stories, I probably would have said no. I mean, it's hard to turn down a $20,000 or $30,000 advance. That might have tempted me. But now that I realize the freedom I have, there's no way I would go through a publishing house. And I only have 4 books for sale. And I've got a few others that are pretty much near complete and about 10 others that are started. Here's another example of what I'm talking about when it comes to freedom. I can't stand feeling a constraint around my neck. Amazon.com, for those of you that are thinking about writing a book or have written, have you put out some books, Andrew? Curious. A lot of people do like writing short stories. If you're going to do short stories, I recommend instead of doing them independently, put them all together and sell 10 or 12 at a time, because people tend to shy away from paying even 99 cents for short stories. A lot of my friends are good with the short stories. It's hard to write a longer book. I would much rather write short stories for the rest of my life. But just like talking on the radio, I mean, you think about talking on the radio, okay, even on an internet show like this. There's a fear of public speaking that keeps a lot of people from doing this. And keep in mind that the industry is not calling for just hosts like I am. They're calling for people who want to advertise their business. And podcasting is a movement along those lines. It's another way to reach people. So it's not just, hey, go entertain. It might be, look, I want to talk to people about real estate. I've got a real estate business. I'm going to share some insider tips. That's going to get me more business, da-da-da-da-da. So you can have your own radio show that just supplements your business. However, so many people have that fear of public speaking, they won't do it. I mean, this is public speaking. No, I'm not standing in front of you. But it feels the same. I mean, I've given plenty of presentations in front of people, and it feels the same talking on the radio. The fear that you're being evaluated, the fear that someone more intelligent than you is looking at you and saying, you're not so bright. The angst that someone is not accepting your message or not believing it. All of these things come into play for someone who's got to get into public speaking for any way. And done treatments only, no bites, by the way. Who cares about bites, man? Andrew, I'll help you. If you want to publish your own stuff, you can do it right through Amazon, bro, and put it for sale tonight. Sure can. Get it all put together, put it in a PDF format, get a little cover work done. I did my own cover art on all my books. Just, you know, I know a little bit about Photoshop. I'm intermediate level in Photoshop, and I felt like I wanted total control over my book, and not only the content of it, but the way it was presented, and that includes the cover work. And wait till you see the cover for my next book. I had an independent artist sketch out all of my major characters, about 8 different characters. And I'm putting them all together on the cover. It's awesome. So now, for the first time, my characters have faces. But think of the difference. This is what we're talking about, the new definition of these old words. Anybody can be an author now. So now, let's face it, let's be honest about it, that degrades the term a little bit. Because you see a lot of shit out there. When anybody can be an author, you see a lot of pretty low quality shit. That's a price you have to pay to get to all of that talent. So we rely on Amazon reviews, we rely on various book reviews from different magazines and websites, and we go that way. Or we have our favorite authors and we just kind of stick to them. So it's not just author though. What else? What other words? Friend. You know, I'm going through something on Facebook right now. As many of you may know, if you've listened to the show before, I've talked about it a few times. I have a personal philosophy that I came up with about 4 or 5 years ago. It actually started one night. One of my youngest sister, the one I'm closest to, and I got together and decided we were going to make a pact. And we were going to make a pact to eliminate the negative people from our life. Just get them out. And it sounds harsh, but we realize that until you do that, you can't get close to true happiness. Andrew says, treat film prescript. Oh, okay, got it. Oh man, I got to hook you up with Ramsey. He's actually done screenwriting. He's got all kinds of connections. Well, you may not need any help. I'm assuming there. So, but if you do, if I got you two together, I'll bet you could probably get some connections there that would help your project. So my sister and I are sitting there at my mom's 70th. I think it was her 70th. It might have been her 72nd birthday party, and we said we're going to kick the negative out. We're not only going to kick our own negative thoughts out of our head, but we're going to kick the negative people out of our social circles. Since then, I've had no reservations about using the block feature on Facebook. You know that the definition of friend changed when Facebook came along. Everybody knows that. Friend took on a different meaning. You could have friends that you've never met and then you've only typed to 10 or 12 lines of text, and all of a sudden they're on your friends list. Okay? So we have now cheapened, once again, we have cheapened the definition of friend. And that's okay, as long as we all agree that it's a new definition now. I got kind of crazy with the block button. After my sister and I came together and made this pact, my life, as far as happiness goes, has made some major improvements. Because as soon as someone gets nasty and pissy or whatever, I'm not afraid to block them. Now, that doesn't mean that you take a friend or a close family member that's having a bad day or a bad month and never talk to them again. But someone who lives for negativity, and I know you know at least one person like this. Who do you know? Think of the top 2 or 3 people that you know that seem to live every day just to bitch about people, places, or things. Bitch, 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 bitch. Let me assure you that that negativity is contagious. It is like a contagious cancer. It will get into your mind because you're a human, and unless you're a psychopath, you have empathy. And if you have empathy, you're going to feel their pain. And if all they're ever doing is displaying pain, then it's going to drag your ass right down with them. Misery loves company. I could utter 1,000 maxims right now that you would agree with. You got to get them out. And if you want to do it a nice way, my idea is send out an email to all your friends and family. Say, guys, I've got a new personal philosophy. Starting the 1st of October, I'm going to start trying to think and live more positively. And as a result of that decision, I'm going to have to ask that when I'm around you, you stay neutral or positive if you're traditionally negative. That gives them a warning. You're saying up front, look, here's your warning. When I'm around you, I don't want to hear the fucking bitching all the time. And there. And then if you get around them and they do it, and you remind them again and they do it again, you got to get them out. You've got to get them out of your daily circles. If you don't, I guarantee you'll never see happiness. You'll never know true happiness. Because it'd be different if you could be cold and callous and turn it off. Maybe you have that ability. Some people do. They can turn it off like a switch. Oh, I'm around John Doe. He's always bitching about the government. I can flick it off. He's not bringing me down. I'm in a great mood. Okay, if you can do that, fine. Let John Doe be your buddy. But most of us have empathy. Most of us are going to feel that pain that that person's sharing, and if that person does nothing but share pain because they're never pleased with anything, you're going down with them. Now, you decide if you want to go down with them, or if you want a chance in this short life at real happiness. The hidden message in all that is be positive yourself, or at least neutral. It's okay to have a bad day and bitch, but if all you do is live to bitch about people, places, or things, why are you alive? Why are you here? If it's all that bad, why do you want anything to do with it? And I've said on the show before, I'm not going to say it tonight, but I've said, hey, if it's that bad, go off yourself. Dead serious. What are you here for? Go off yourself. The message, find something that you like in life. If it's not in your life right now, go do some more fucking digging. You know? It's the quickest way to real happiness. Get the negative out, insert the positive in, work with the positive, or at least the neutral. You don't have to be Mary Poppins all the time. Now, the third word that has taken on a new definition, now that we've kind of processed author and we've processed friend, is host. Now, I've always been a huge fan of radio shows. Something about the medium of radio, I love it. It's attractive. There's an element of mystery to it because you can hear the voice, but you can't see the body language. So you have to use a little bit of your imagination. I love the fact that you can listen to a radio show while doing other things. You can't watch your favorite TV show while you're driving. You can't go hiking with a TV in front of you. You got to watch where you're going, but you can listen. You can listen to a radio show. And you can listen to informative talk shows. You can listen to educational shows. You can listen to musical shows. Now, that's what's great about this medium. It's very versatile. And if I told you 20 years ago, I'm a radio host, you'd be like, that's cool as shit. What station do you work for? You know, you don't hear that now. See, I almost feel like it's deceptive. I don't tell people I'm a radio host. I tell them I have a small internet radio show. I get that shit out right up front. Because if you don't do that, and you like to go around saying, yes, I'm a radio host, well, they're going to know what you're doing once they find out about your show if you're trying to make yourself look a lot bigger than you are. And that is disingenuous. I recommend not doing that. I recommend being upfront. You have a small or medium internet radio show, and people will appreciate that. It may even get them more interested than they would have been if they thought you had a big show. Honesty goes a long way. I can tell you from experience. So it's a new definition. Go for your night's run. Yeah. Well, it's a new definition now. Am I a host? Am I an author? Am I a friend? 20 years ago, 30 years ago, if I said that to you, you'd say those are, well, as far as author and host goes, those are big dreams. Those are rather lofty. And if you're a friend, you're a friend. You know, you are a friend. You're somebody I know. We've had at least a couple dinners together. I've seen you suffer. We're friends. Not now. Not now. No, I don't do a night's run, bro. I do a limp between the coffee pot, the bathroom, and my studio. That's what I do. I work on computers while I'm crouched over. The only comfortable way for my back is for me to sit bent over, because I'm not getting into the medical part of it, but it's the only comfortable position is to lean forward, you know, and that limits a lot of what I can do. So let's keep it going, though. Don't want to get on anything negative. That wouldn't be within the context of the definition of this show. News, my God. I mean, it's negative. You know it's a slow news day? Well, let me tell you a couple of ways you can identify when it's a slow news day. If you see the name Rob Ford in the major headlines, it's a slow news day, okay? They're reaching. And another indicator that it may be a slow news day is if you see something like this. culture clash. Minecraft fans fear Microsoft. Well, that's one of those, what I would call a cultural piece. That's a period piece, meaning it could have been written 3 months ago, and they pulled it out as a filler. That's how you know that it's kind of a slow news day. It's actually not too bad of a news day today. There's some pretty good stories out there. Look at this. Alzheimer's linked to sleeping pills and anti-anxiety drugs. Wow. Well, I've got to share this because my memory is shit. And while I don't take sleeping pills, I have used anti-anxiety medications before. I don't actually... it's a per episode thing with me. I don't have like panic attacks, but there are times. And they're prescribed. But I don't take them all the time. New research suggests that people who take benzodiazepines may have a higher risk of developing Alzheimer's. I'll share that real quick on the announcement on the Facebook page. Because if I don't, I wouldn't remember to do it. Yeah. You know, I was thinking about something earlier. I had talked to a kid, and I asked this kid what he wanted to be when he grew up. And, you know, occasionally I do these little interviews with people. And this is what he said to me.
When I grow up, I want to be the president of a vagina.
Technical foul.
Yeah. Well, you know. You know. Yeah. So let's see. What else did that kid say? I was talking to him about some other stuff too. And I asked him how old he was.
I'll be 7 years old, and I can fuck your shit up.
Oh, you don't always hear that. You don't always hear that every day. I asked him what he thought about kids in school these days.
Kids are fucking stupid today, you know that?
Right. Let's see. We have a little bit of, you know, I love these longer speeches, but I don't want to play any of these for you because they're too long, and I can't extract what I want from them. However, I do have a couple I want to share with you. We've tried to get George Bush to say the word nuclear. We cannot, and I'll just review with you some of the times I've tried to get him to say it, and this is what I keep getting. So listen to this.
Had a design for a workable nuclear weapon.
No, didn't get it that time. Let's try this.
The inspectors discovered that Iraq had an advanced nuclear weapons development program.
Nope. Next.
A group he calls his nuclear mujahideen.
Nope.
Before the Gulf War, the best intelligence indicated that Iraq was 8 to 10 years away from developing a nuclear weapon.
Nope, you're still saying nuclear.
By the very presence of a nuclear weapon. And by the way, we don't know how close he is to a nuclear weapon right now. To developing a nuclear weapon.
Yeah,
Facing clear evidence of peril.
Okay, you got that right. You pronounced all of those right.
And so that is a common sense drive.
A common sense drive. That's what I like to take on Sundays. Yeah, that kid is a genius. Yeah, I don't really have any more sound clips I'm interested in playing. I mean, I have hundreds of them loaded. I mean, how could you not play that, though? You know?
Add and subtract, then you want to know that.
What? What did you say, George Bush?
Add and subtract, then you want to know that.
Add and subtract, then you want to know that.
So Americans can buy more homes.
I see.
I wouldn't exactly call it gnashing of teeth, but...
Yeah, I would. My teeth are gnashing right now. How about you, Chewbacca? You know I have some new employees here. Chewbacca's one of them. What do you think about Wes Johnson? You think Wes Johnson's got some talent?
That Wes Johnson, he's got more talent than a Jewish accountant at a flea market.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's the thing he does with the voice there. The thing of beauty, that guy. What a voice. My ex-wife was louder than him, but didn't sound nearly as beautiful.
Oh, God.
You motherfuckers better recognize right now.
Yeah. One response, bitch, works here. Am I doing a good job, would you say, tonight, one response, bitch?
Good job, loser.
Yeah, okay. Well, you suck. You know, you always sound negative about everything. So,
I'm out of here.
Well, good. Go. I'll hire somebody else. This is what I think about it.
Well, I'm not a crook.
Since Barco always wants to see photos of my cock, well, I can't do that. But my cock does make noise, and unlike many cocks, it makes noise, so I thought I'd let him hear what it has to say. There we go. Yeah. There we go.
I saw you looking at her.
You know, Andrew, I feel that we have come to the end of our show. I don't have a lot more to say. I wanted to get those definitions out, and the last thing I like to do is drag shows out. So if you've got the time, do you want to, I'll find another good show if you want to go there and we can chat together and stuff like that. I'm going to pull up the Spreaker Playing Now tab and see if I recognize anybody. You may be more of an expert at this than me, but in the event that you aren't, maybe I can find one that we could both go have a jolly good time at. So I'm looking at the live shows right now. There's PK and DK. Debbie Daly was talking about them. That's a new couple that are giving an unconventional look at relationships, news, and pop culture. But live now is what we're looking for. Yeah, sometimes I run out of steam. I could talk about anything forever, but then I go, I'm not interested in anything right now. Sometimes I'm really not interested in anything. So, but I do like to keep the text chat going. Just because I don't feel like talking doesn't mean anything. Oh, there's Debbie Daly. Debbie Daly has a show right now. I'm going to go over there because it's under the format of comedy, and I like comedy, so she better be funny. I'm going to share that link with you, Andrew, in case you'd like to go over there too. And anybody else lurking in the chat will see this link as well. Barco must be gay. I think he must be gay or either bi. I think so. He's always talking about my cock, and I don't get it. You want to go over there, Andrew? You think you might be interested in going over to Debbie Daly's show? If so, I'll see you over there, my Australian friend. And I'm going to go ahead and open it up right now, and doing my show, but in your chat now. Hee-haw. Yeah, why not? Why not? What's it going to hurt? We got to support each other, Spreaker host. Seriously, I mean that. We can help each other. Lift each other up. Promote each other. You know, I'll play your damn promo commercials if you send them to me. I know we can help each other. Okay, Andrew is going over there. All right. So you guys, since we are kind of ending on a sudden note here, going to jump over to one of Debbie Daly's comedy shows. I'm not going to play any outro music, as they call it in the business. But I am going to play you a little commercial in case you tuned in just now so that you'll know where to follow me. It's a very quick one. And then we'll be done with this bitch. That is that. And here goes this.
On Tap is now flowing from iHeartRadio. Get your Kierstead fix by Googling Truth on Tap with Kevin A. Kierstead. All the truth you can handle running hot on iHeart, Facebook, Spreaker, and more. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth on Tap.